So everyone, I want to quickly note, this is just going to be a couple seconds, why, one, there's a pizza behind me, but two, I gave you that video of me, very short videos, the on the ground lectures, not too long, but really quick. Why did I talk about the peace process, the Colombian peace process, and why I was in that place? I just want to make it clear that after we talk about insurgencies, counterinsurgency, war, conventional, non-conventional, etc., what happens? That's something that's kind of left out of the literature on national security, is that you have all these ex-combatants. What happens to them? Well, the place behind me where you see in that video is that it actually offers ex-guerrilleros, combatants de la FARC-ELN, that's the guerrilla group that was fighting since the 1960s, a way out back into civil society, because they don't have the skills. It's not like, well, I was a guerrilla for 30 years. Now I'm just going to work for IBM. It doesn't work like that. So what happens is you need policies in place to incorporate these people back, or they go back to fighting. This is exactly what happened in the war. So you have these guerrilleros, some actually went back to fighting, but how do you get most not to fight? And the place I went to was a place that was supporting them. They developed, it was a pizza place, but they started buying up all the FARC products. They do coffee now, alcohol, beer, etc., boots, clothes, and I bought some stuff in order to give them jobs and to develop skills. And the United Nations was also involved in this in order for them not to go back, to kind of give fungible, that is applicable skills to the real world. So they were making all these products there in order for them not to, feel like they have to go back to fighting because that's all they knew. And this is very important because it's not just like civil wars in developing countries. What happens with veterans. So this is why we have, for example, to help veterans with housing, with loans, with schools. That's what the GI Bill is about. So the goal is to incorporate people back into society, because if you don't, it's disastrous. And this is exactly what happened in the Iraq War. Was the Bush administration. No offense if you love George Bush, but he was an idiot. I mean, him and Wolfowitz went in there, Wolfowitz particularly, and debathitized the Iraqi military after the war and told all of these Sunnis, sorry, you don't have jobs anymore. And they were all in the military and they had weapons and they knew how to use them. And now they have no jobs. Not smart. So basically, all those people, many of them went to join ISIS because they had no other choice because of the Sunni revenge. That is, they were exploiting the Sunnis, Shias. So now that the Shias got power, right? It was called Shia revenge, went after the Sunnis, and that created massive instability. After the Salvadoran Civil War, the government was very smart. The United Nations led it and actually incorporated the FMLN, that was the guerrilla group, into society with the police and the military, along with the other military and police officers that were actually fighting them. So they kind of integrated into society, and they had no revenge killings for the longest time. This is what kind of policy you need. So the reason I went there to that restaurant and showing you all the products, etc., is it was an effort to incorporate ex-combatants back into society. And that's what I wanted to say about this, is that, this is very important. And they have pretty good pizza. So that is going to be the end of that week. And it's important because the goal of understanding whether it's political violence, national security, U.S. foreign policy, or anything, you need policies in place after wars. And that's how the Obama administration failed in Libya. After they removed Gaddafi, right? All these groups are fighting to get rid of Gaddafi. We helped them through NATO, saying we by the United States. And then boom, they're all fighting each other. There was no policy in place after Gaddafi fell. So all the people who were fighting against Gaddafi broke into factions and fought each other. And that's why it's completely a failed state. So we need better policy, not only during war, insurgency, counterinsurgency, but after too. So take care, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that little bit on not just war, conventional, asymmetrical warfare, etc., but the aftermath of war. Take care.